Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy, and welcome back to more Pokémon White version. Last time, we didn't become a champion whatsoever. I mean, we sort of did by default because we defeated N, and then afterwards we stopped Ghetsis from taking over the world, but other than that, yeah, no final battle with a champion, no Hall of Fame, none of that. We're back here now because our adventure is far from over. There is more story to tell, there are more places to explore, a lot more places to explore, and let's not just stand around talking about it, let's hit the road again! Well, I guess something stayed the same at least, because we're back in our room. And I guess Zekrom's an official team member now. Not because I'm gonna be hanging on to him or anything, but hey, it's like a rite of passage that if you're gonna be on this team, you gotta show up haywire in a meaningful way, and I think Zekrom managed to show up haywire more in one battle than any other team member had across this entire adventure combined. I'm just saying, you're an honorary team member now, buddy. But moving right along, let's get into where our travels are gonna be taking us on the rest of our adventure. Many of you have been asking about all of this land to the west of Opalucid and also to the west of Nimbasa, I guess, or that's east. Can't figure out my sense of direction, but a lot of people have been asking about this, saying, hey, you never went past the policeman that was blocking Route 11. That was blocked off until now. We have all of this to explore, and there are new things to do in just about every area that we have already seen. There's a lot to cover, and we're gonna be here a while. Well, not here a while, my mother's multiplying! Is the other one not related to me then? Okay, no. Welcome home, Blair! Seems like you've been through many amazing things, is that not so? Incredible, really? Amazing, absolutely! Meeting these two Pokémon of legend! This is... Oh! I still wear my disguise! Pardon? Or rather, let me introduce myself. I am a globe-trotting elite of the International Police. My name? No, I shall inform you of my code name only. My code name? It is Looker. It is how I am called. Behind the scenes in this region of Unova, an organization called Team Plasma conspires. This I have heard, and therefore, to this region I must come, but... thanks to the gym leaders and you, yes, Team Plasma's castle has fallen. A little too late there, buddy. And the members, they have gone upon their separate ways. This is what I hear, most certainly. But however, the ones known as the Seven Sages, still they hide themselves in the Unova region. And so in the end, it explains why I must ask this of you, trainer of amazing skill. Travel the Unova region and search it up and search it down for the Seven Sages. Alder, champion of renown, recommended you to my notice. Are you willing to help me? Yet once more I shall ask. If you please, travel the Unova region and search it high and low for these Seven Sages. He's just gonna keep repeating over and over again. Don't be like that, meet my kid. Excellent. Thank you. Now, I feel as if I have perhaps a million people on my side. Permit me to give you this into your hands. The Super Rod. That's a Super Rod, right? Yes, correct. It is certainly a Super Rod. Weren't we talking about Team Plasma's Seven Sages? What does this have to do with looking for those people? Why, Mom, it's fishing up trouble! I see. Yeah, that's kind of how everyone reacts to when I say things like that. It is truly Blair's mama to ask so. What a magnificent question. I admire it. It is my pleasure to answer. Absolutely nothing! I see. Yes, I shall provide the explanation of this, the Super Rod. First, face the water and employ the rod. Second, concentrate your focal point. When it occurs that these Pokemon bite, exclamation point will indicate. Immediately reel in. For the rest, Blair, I depend on you. People from the International Police are kind of unique, aren't they? Well, no worries. I think you should just do what you want to do. You're practically a grown-up now. Aw, first compliment you have given me across this entire wide world of adventure that we have been on. Things really have come full circle. Oh, bother! It's Winnie the Pooh! Hey, Blair. Is Looker through talking to you? I'm sorry. By the time I went to get the Striaton City gym leaders, everything was over. If that's the case, I let Getsus escape when the Shadow Triad created an opening. Getsus? The Shadow Triad? I'll tell you later about what happened in the castle. It's more important to ask what you plan to do now, Bianca. You know what? I'm gonna go to White Forest! That's the city on the other side of Route 16, when you leave from Nimbasa City. If you go that way, you might be able to meet all sorts of Pokemon you've never seen before. Oh, well, this is nice timing. I see you're all here. Just a moment ago, I got some National Pokedex data from an acquaintance. Since you're here, let's upgrade your Pokedex with the National Pokedex data. I'm sure you'll be visiting a wider range of places. Naturally, that means you'll be encountering more Pokemon. Let me see your Pokedex for a sec. There you go, Bianca. Next up is Sharon. And last but not least, that's actually what I was gonna say before you open your mouth. That's scary that I knew exactly what he was gonna say. I play the games way too much. Now you can switch your Pokedexes to the National Mode Pokedex. Completing the National Pokedex will surely be a big challenge. So, take your time, enjoy yourselves, and meet lots of Pokemon. Wow, the National Pokedex! It looks like there are tons of Pokemon I don't know yet. Ooh! I want to show my mom and dad my Pokedex. I gotta go! Let's meet again somewhere, okay? Huh. Bianca's as impetuous as ever, no matter what's going on. I think I'll travel all the way around Unova, starting at Route 1 again. I'm sure I'll discover lots of new things. Could be I'll encounter the 7 Sages along the way. And Blair, if we spy each other along the way, let's battle again. Okay? You all love your speed walking. I say we check out after Bianca and make sure that she's doing all right. You know her with her family troubles. I was just looking over my Pokedex again and thinking, I sure have met a lot of different Pokemon. Choosing one thing means having to give up something else. Of course it's very hard to decide. Even if there are many things you want to do, you're only one person. It's frustrating, isn't it? Not quite the resolution that I was hoping for in seeing this, but the Super Rod. There's no good rod or old rod. You just have the best fishing rod from the start, and from by the start, I mean after the end of the game. It's kind of nice, though. I want to stop in and see Juniper, as we're overdue on getting a reward. I'm going to show your Pokedex 140 Pokemon seen across Unova. This is an excellent Pokedex. Just a little more and it'll be full. It seems like you are meeting Pokemon at a good clip. I just love saying that, okay? I think I've said it that way every time. Can't break tradition. She gives us TM10 Hidden Power. Already know what this does. I've gone over it many times. A mysterious move. Its type and power change depending on the Pokemon that learns it. Not species, but individual Pokemon itself. Cedric is also going to be hanging out at Juniper's lab with his horrifying pupilless face. So, yeah, we can actually have him review our National Pokedex instead. I've caught, well, okay, actually reviews how many Pokemon you have caught, but across the National Dex. First, you might want to revisit places you've already been. Retracing your steps in the Unova region and see what new Pokemon turn up. We'll do just that. We are going to be starting the journey all over again from Route 1, just as Charon is, and maybe we'll bump into him along the way as well. There are a lot of new Pokemon we are able to catch through fishing. And by a lot of new Pokemon that are now available to catch through fishing, I mean a lot of old Pokemon that are now available to catch through fishing. So, earlier when I said that, you know, hey, maybe there are old Pokemon in Unova, they're just all flying up in the sky where you can't see them. I was almost right. They're just all swimming under the water where you can't see them. Yeah, very convenient that all these Pokemon lived in Unova this entire time. We just didn't have the very specific means of actually obtaining them. If I may demonstrate. Said if I may demonstrate. There we go. encounter a basculin. Okay, well, all right. You know what? Just for having the audacity to appear when I was going to go over old new Pokemon, take a bolt from a god, your god. I guess technically now I've lied saying that I would only use Zekrom for the story important fights, but I kind of wanted to show this if I could. I didn't want to register it because I didn't see myself doing much fishing, but maybe it would be a smart idea with how my luck's been going. Alright, never mind, but I guess that is a very good illustrator for what it is I'm trying to say. Zekrom failed to run away from a wild basculin that we found on Route 1. That better not KO me. Okay, that was worth having so much trouble to run into this. What I was trying to say is that of all the new Pokemon that you're able to find from fishing, they are high-leveled. The unevolved Pokemon generally max out at about level 55, and any evolved Pokemon that you find, most of them, max out at level 70. And with how much is to do in C, we still have to do in C. I'm speaking redundantly a lot. I need to stop that before it gets to be too much. You might want to add some of these Pokemon to your team, especially if you need a water type, and even if you don't, there's some dragon types and other interesting stuff that you can find while fishing, and this isn't even the only new way to encounter Pokemon that we're going to be seeing. Zekrom, you know, you're kind of a pathetic god if you're slower than a fish. But please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. Please don't. Thank God. Okay. Let's switch someone more capable of running away into the league, because I do at least want to run into something while we're here. Rock, you're up. But what I'm wanting to say is, more or less, that if you need a new addition to the team, maybe one of your team members is underperforming, maybe you just never caught a 6th team member, you could do a lot worse than right now, and it's kind of nice that with the Super Rod, it doesn't fall into the usual trap of post-game encounters coming in just way too late to be helpful. There are some cases of it, but it's not really that bad, and as such, I'm pleased to say that we got lots and lots of Pokemon to go over as if you would want to add them to your team. I am going to warn you, for a little while in revisiting these old places, there's going to be long strings of bios flowing into other long strings of bios, because all these Cantonian to Sinnohite Pokemon, they have been surrounding us and watching us every step of the way. They're everywhere. And we're beginning the aftergame on the rarest Pokemon ever! Except not really. Instead of having it be stupid rare, just simply fishing on rippling water is enough to obtain Phoebus and Unova. As it is, it's useless and only knows Splash, Tackle, and Flail. It's Magikarp. It needs to evolve to be worth anything, and that's changed. This is the first region since Phoebus' introduction to not have Pokemon contests or contest stats. Instead, now the method of evolving it is trading holding a Prism Scale, an item only found in new areas that have opened up now. Speaking of evolving, found rarely in rippling water is Milotic. The big caveat that comes with using Milotic is that its move pool is shallow, and every Milotic winds up using Surf, Ice Beam, and maybe a Dragon move if it's lucky. Though very generic in moves, Milotic is bulky and very powerful in its special stats. If you want a good water type, Milotic is shallow, but it's good at what it does. Now, we actually have another new encounter. I want to move on to talking about a new mechanic. Once a day, a random area will be given a swarm encounter. Most areas only have one, but some of them have a few Pokemon. Swarm Pokemon are always found between levels 15 to 55. So they can be valuable additions to the team just as fishing Pokemon can. And the way that you would know if there is a swarm encounter on a route is if the electronic bulletin board on the gate tells you about it. In Route 1, there's not a viable addition to any team in this way. Farfetch'd has no stat over 65, never evolves, and is one of the objectively worst Pokemon of all time. Surprisingly, I gotta hand it to Farfetch'd in that it actually has good moves. It has Swords Dance, Brave Bird, and even Night Slash now. I would give it points for knowing False Swipe, but we've had a TM from Juniper for that for how long, and you'd be very hard-pressed to not qualify for getting that, so not exactly earning points for originality there. It is one of the very few Pokemon that can learn acrobatics, and I have praised Pokemon for this in the past, but really, it's bad. Everything else is better at using acrobatics. I'd wager that my Cryogonal uses acrobatics and does more damage. It has a unique gimmick in that the stick item will raise its critical ratio by 2 stages, but again, I don't really think that's going to save it. Oh. Alright, I went to the PC to put Zekrom away and get out Haywire, and congratulations! More wallpapers were added to commemorate your success! They give us free desktop backgrounds for saving the world. That's not the only thing that's changed, though. Well, okay, actually, it kind of is. Yeah, we only have 8 PC boxes. This was a very controversial change, back around the release, because everyone's like, oh my god, worst game ever! There's no old Pokemon, and you only get 8 PC boxes? No! But actually, if you get all 8 PC boxes filled up, then you get a lot more. That's actually how it is. Yeah, it's a little bit weird that they're not available to you from the start. Maybe they just didn't want to overcomplicate the UI. I could believe that, but yeah, it was quite the point of contention back when this was still new. Zekrom, we're gonna put you right next to Feebas, in between Feebas and Terrakion. What a place to be displayed. Well, Haywire, no hard feelings. Everyone else kind of got bodied without you. You were spared a really humiliating defeat, more than likely. Just in case you were wondering, there are no new items that you can now buy at the Pokemart thanks to your success. I guess not everyone recognizes us as an international celebrity who saved the dang country, but oh well, so be it. We're gonna move on from Accumulatown because it's one of the few places that is of no actual consequence. Moving on to Route 2. There's no water on Route 2, but there is something blue. The swarm encounter of Wynot. More like, why? Well, okay. Positives are that it at least evolves at level 15, so it's guaranteed to always evolve in one level. Wobbuffet's main gimmick is that it has a ton of health, so that it can use Counter and Mirror Coat, plus its ability cuts off the foe being able to switch out, unless both Pokemon have Shadow Tag, in which case they are both allowed to switch until one of them leaves the field. It can be a very powerful Pokemon and is one of the best users of leftovers ever, which we're not too far off from being able to get. And once Wobbuffet gets low on health, it uses Destiny Bond to bring down the foe with it. It does it well, but doesn't do much of anything else. If you know what your opponent's going to do, can be very powerful, but with unpredictable AI, it can be a little bit frustrating to use. It's good, just very one trick in what it does and might not be what you're looking for. Alright, like I said, lots of bios leading into other bios. Dreamyard ahead, a place for novice trainers. That's bait for a trap if I've ever seen one. We go into the Dreamyard, and that little traffic cone arch nemesis that was keeping us from moving forward is gone now. We can actually explore all of the Dreamyard. There's an, what? There's an, hang on. We gotta see this, I can't actually cut that down, crap. Let's get off the bike. I'm gonna let walking win. I know, I'm horrible, and I'm losing who I am and losing my true inner self. Hang on. So much for the gang all being here. I decided that Terabyte could use a rest as he was kind of the star player in helping save the entirety of Unova. I think he can rest up a little bit. Went and got Boggle out, our good old HM user. We can go slip under that and go over this way. I feel like I picked that up, but apparently I never did. Here I thought I was being very meticulous about picking up every single item along the way, and lo and behold, there was one at the very beginning that I never gotten. Don't let me, no. It's part of my identity that I don't let walking beat me. No, okay, just good. I don't care that I would be at my destination faster if I just got off the bike. That would be losing my inner self. Now, Patrat. We have a whole new area of Dreamyard to explore. This is another thing that I was talking about in that we have more than just Pokemon being underneath the water. They were watching us from underground as well. Going down the staircase, there's some trainers that are going to be of pretty scary level. That's another thing about the post-game is that there is a huge spike in difficulty that we are going to be seeing right away with this guy and that gal if she also notices us. To research strange Pokemon, having a battle is a good approach, don't you think? Call my Pokemon strange. I guess my zebra does kind of have a big butt and kind of a sparky tail, so maybe you're kind of onto something, Marcus. Never mind the fact that I'm raising a bag of trash and raising a sentient snowflake that's apparently a predatory creature. Yeah, these trainers all have old Pokemon, and they are scarily high-leveled. Suddenly, I deeply regret the fact that I put my, Crocodile away, and I'm gonna have to deal with this now with no Dark type. But while we're doing this, we had 2 new encounters in Striaton City, and then quite a few new ones that we can find in this underground, subterranean growing grass in the Dream Yard. So let's get to those. So, I've never been sure what Goldeen actually wants to be. It's a slow physical attacking water type with the option to speed up in rain, which I guess makes it certainly unique. The main thing it has going for it are that it uses Waterfall decently well. In fact, this was the original Waterfall user before that was even an HM move. Other than that are physical Horn attacks, which, sure, it does learn Horn Attack, but more importantly is Horn Drill and Mega Horn. They're probably the best non-water type moves for it. Its move pool is so shallow that even something as small as a Goldeen will suffocate in it. Return and Poison Jab are its only worthwhile physical moves other than that, and that's it. I guess if you really still want to raise it, though, rarely found when fishing in rippling water, you can find Seeking in Striaton City. Not much different here other than it potentially being at a higher level. The family is just pretty lame between low stats, few moves, and even fewer good moves. I think you're better off just having a water type with higher stats, especially in the speed department. Moving on to the Dream Yard, it's Raticate. I know what you're thinking, but despite the weak preconception I'm sure you have, Raticate actually has a few solid things going for it this time around. Not amazing, but halfway decent when Guts is going. Unfortunately, it has to get the Flame Orb or Toxic Orb from the Battle Subway to make that happen, so that is a bit of a barrier to using it. If you can, though, using Return with Raticate hits for a lot of damage when it's combined with these tactics thanks to the same type attack bonus. Super Fang is a great move that not many Pokemon learn, and it even has Sucker Punch and Crunch naturally. Surprisingly, it also is compatible with the TMs for U-Turn and Wild Charge, meaning that it has actual type coverage for once in its little life. The biggest negative that I can think of is that it can't use many compatible special attacks for beans. But if you need a physical attacker and Raticate sounds fun and you've never tried it before, honestly, you could do a lot worse. It's easy to find at a high level, and it's miles above the mediocre user of nothing but normal and dark type moves that it used to be. Not horrible. Moving on is Venema. And we have another Pokemon that's not great, but also not horrible. It's a modest special attacker. See what I did there? It has access to some pretty decent moves like Signal Beam, Energy Ball, and Psychic. Tinted Lens is easily the better of its 2 abilities, causing moves resisted by the opponent to do double damage, offsetting a normal resistance. But the main attraction for why Venomoth would be good is Quiver Dance, one of the best buffing moves ever. It raises speed, special attack, and special defense at the same time, and Venomoth is one of very few Pokemon that's even able to learn it. But I said would be good because it learns it so late. Plus, if you want to use Quiver Dance, there is a better option. A better option that we'll be meeting very soon. A better option that is borderline overpowered. Venomoth is not terrible, but it's very, very outclassed. Ariados is a crummier physical-based Venomoth that learns most of the same moves. It learns Spiderweb, which is kind of unique, but is it a fair trade-off? No. I'd rather see what's up next. Wow, forget being nice to these lesser Pokemon now. Ledian is one of the worst Pokemon of all time! Let's start with an overdone type that is one of the worst on both an offensive and defensive standpoint. Give it tons of attacking moves when it has simply laughable attack stats that aren't even good by baby Pokemon standards. And then for good measure, let's throw in a bizarre mix of alright speed and special defense, being its only stats over 55. As if that's not bad enough, the actually good special defense is completely negated by it having next to no HP. So in reality, Ledian has 5 useless stats and okay speed that it won't even get to do anything with. Swarm is the better of its 2 abilities to be sure, but with that little HP and with its type the way it is, it won't ever be activating Swarm because it'll already be knocked out if it's taken damage. Ledian does learn some nice moves for Baton Pass like Agility and Swords Dance, so it does work best as a lead, but it's absolutely awful. Everything it does is done better by other Pokemon, and there's no reason to consider it for a serious team, not even close. Even people I know who like making wacky teams of offbeat Pokemon have told me that Ledian disappointed even them. Seriously, this is beyond bottom tier and more like love disc tier. And, next in the encounters is another awful bug type, so we're not stopping. Cricketune! You like its cry, but similarly, it uses Swords Dance and has Swarm, which it'll almost never get to use because its stats are so low. Thankfully, it can actually use moves like X-Scissor, Brick Break, and Night Slash decently well, so it's not as bad as Ledian. Other than that, very mediocre. It's pretty awful, but at least we can all agree that its cry is hilarious. Coming back from all that, we got the Twisted Spoon, raises the power of Psychic-type moves. A little funny that we still hadn't seen that up to this point. And these trainers, they're bashful. If they see you, they turn tail and run. You gotta be the one to initiate conversation with them. Haha, it's so good being the dominant one. Then again, maybe they're just avoiding me because I smell. I haven't showered since coming back from saving the world, and that's a pretty sweat-inducing task. I'll be right back there to catch him in a moment. We're gonna grab this revive. And now we are going to play the role of bad guy catcher. Oh! You shoved me. Boo! Were you surprised? Oh, trainer who destroyed our castle. I was quite surprised by you. If you surprise them, both Pokemon and people leave themselves open. While they're in a state of surprise, they can't use their powers like they normally would. Our intention was to surprise people by making our castle appear and showing off the legendary Pokémon. At that moment, we planned to deeply impress people's hearts with the awesome power of Team Plasma and the brilliance of our new world. Now that I've seen the strength of spirit in you and the gym leaders, I wonder how effective that strategy would have been after all. Maybe that strength of spirit is what's needed to take Pokemon to the next level? I'm sorry to have wasted your time with this silly conversation. Take this with you. TM75 Swords Dance! Buffs the attack stat by 2 stages. Excellent move. My Lord N's dream. You were the one who put a stop to that. Please don't ever forget that. And now about Team Plasma. I am an officer of the International Police, and there are so many things you must tell me at once. Musharna is said to appear here. Its dream mist makes you see dreams, but they are nothing but illusions. The dreams you realize with your own abilities are the real dreams. Accept my thanks. Now, Ghetsis notwithstanding, there yet remains 5 of the 7 sages still at large. What is it they are thinking? What it may be they are hoping? This is information I pursue. Until we meet again! Just in time to take him into custody and take all the credit back at headquarters. He'd lose a lot of his credibility if he knew that he had to get help from a trainer to be able to catch all the bad guys. Not like he's ever done that before. Oh, I don't have a repel up. That's why I ran into this. I was about to say, am I really lower level than the Liferts around here? That sounds like a tongue twister, but it actually probably wouldn't be a very good one now that I think about it more. Moving right along, I am lower level than whatever this is. Yay, we got to hear the sound! I was kind of hoping for it, and I had a... Oh, it's Haywire who's lower leveled. I thought Rock was my lead. So used to Rock lead after all. If we go up this way... No, not there, not there, not there, not there. Gotta grab an item ball. Hyper Potion, making up for the many that I had to downright spam against Ghetsis. Probably should have my dowsing machine up as well. Yes. Max Potion, even better. We have this boulder. At long last, we can finally push this. Had some of you thinking I forgot about it? I didn't. It's just a way to come back from this exclusive area that you can only access now after the traffic cone is gone. Since we don't need to push aside any boulders or cut down any trees or do any of those other things nobody likes doing, I thought it would be nice to get Terabyte back into the group because we need it. Bad. He is probably the strongest member of our team, and we could definitely use him. TM85 Dream Eater. It's a psychic type special move that steals half of the damage done, only usable while the enemy Pokemon is asleep. Very situational, but speaking of Pokemon being asleep, we have a field encounter. Something rather special. Yes, Mushar. Of course it's Mushar. What else would it be? Musharna! We've already been over this, haven't we? But this is something kind of intriguing. Thankfully, now we have a big arsenal of TMs, so if you regretted not getting it, you can actually teach it nice moves without having to wait 30 levels. This is being done over again because even though it is the same Pokemon as before, it has a different ability. This is our second, technically third instance of hidden abilities after Darmanitan and Basculin. Basically, these are abilities that drastically change a Pokemon's use but can only be found through special ways or gotten from special events. Collecting all of these is brutal, but this is one of the few freebies that you get. Telepathy isn't super useful on Musharna in a world where almost no one plays double or triple battles. If you wanted to use it for Battle Subway or Versus or something of that persuasion, I guess you'd find use in it because then it's able to tank a lot better, but still, I'm not really so sure. It's kinda lame that the only two Pokemon with hidden abilities in the game that introduce the mechanic both suck and are better off with their default abilities. This Musharna is interesting, though. If you remember that Bianca caught that very same Munna that was being tormented by Team Plasma at the beginning of the journey, the Musharna never came back, and here it is. You can only find it on Fridays. It will be a field encounter, and you can run into it. Oh, wait! Oh, my God. Oh, no! That right there is a mechanic that I thought we were going to go the whole playthrough without seeing, and I would have to address in a bonus video of some kind. That was a critical capture. The heck is that? Well, as you catch more Pokemon, starting at 30 Pokemon caught, you start having a low chance that you will hear a different sound effect and have a different animation when the Pokeball is thrown. In which case, the Pokeball only needs to shake once, and then it checks for capture, and then you can catch a Pokemon. It's kind of a reward for catching as many as you possibly can just outside of personal completion, in that you will have an easier chance catching more Pokemon by just having more Pokemon. It's pretty great. I don't know the exact breakdown off the top of my head, but I'll show on screen whatever the calculations are, as I typically do whenever going over something like that, because people don't want to go and read Bulbapedia. Actually, no, Well, I may not be reading Bulbapedia, but I am being a little bit of a hypocrite if I'm saying that people don't want to go read fan sites, because of course I do that. They're extremely helpful to me in learning all that I can about these games, and I very much appreciate all the hard work the members of those communities do to compile this information. I was kind of liking the fact that you had a lucky chant up, meaning I couldn't score critical hits on you and unexpectedly beat you, but I guess we can't all get what we want now, can we? I'd rather not hit you again until you do another lucky chant, so let's chuck another ball. If I had a heal ball, you'd look beautiful. Yes, I do. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Come on. Camera loves you. I don't know what that has to do with a heal ball. I guess it kind of looks like camera lens. You didn't really take too kindly to that. Should I? Yeah, Brick Brick. Brick Brick will be fine. Wow, Brick Brick was very fine. Terabyte, no. Still not gonna do anything. Lucky Chan, okay, that's fine. Means that I can bulldoze you. I was kind of hoping to stall out some turns anyway, so my sleep was a blessing in disguise. Good, good, good. And your defense curl makes so I can much more precisely lower your HP. Loving that as well. I'm just talking to this thing like it's in vogue and running down the runway. We all know the cookie jar look is in. I will never stop comparing it to that. Just like I want a Rug and Roll a pencil sharpener, I want a Munna cookie jar. Or a Musharna, whichever they want to sell me. I'll probably end up paying money for both of them. A Musharna lunchbox would be kind of funny using the Dream Smoke as the handle, but oh! There it is! I don't want to catch this for any purpose. There's just kind of a cool novelty in having a Pokemon with a hidden ability when they were still kind of hard to get. The Drowsing Pokemon. With the mist from its forehead, it can create shapes of things from dreams it has eaten. It's kind of creepy that it has a hole drilled in its forehead. I hope no official artwork exists without the smoke there, because that would be especially freaky. Well, I think you can see that there is a pretty sizable thing to do already. We have found one of the 6 sages, Gets Us notwithstanding, and we have explored a whole new area of Dreamyard and got ourselves a very rare Pokemon in the process that actually has some merits and has some novelty to it as well. Not you. Your evolved form. just saying. With that done, I think we're gonna end things here. Next time on Pokemon Black and White, we continue on through our second journey of the Unova region and see what other familiar faces are lurking in the grasses and waters of the places that we have yet to go. See you guys then. And just saying, I'm gonna battle all the trainers here off screen because we need experience and we need it bad. If you think the difficulty spike here is a lot, oh, you're in for a rude awakening. There are some high-level Pokemon to fight, and I suggest with the scaling experience working the way it does, you do as much training against the trainers as possible, because it's only gonna get harder. See you guys then. What a negative note to end on.